There are 2 matches left, and we went from the outhouse to the penthouse. We will start in the outhouse. The Lucha Brothers for the tag title against Paige and Olivier. It's the same fucking thing. Everybody is being cheered. There's no heels. So how do you make the match make sense? You don't, because everybody just does their shit. All 4 of them were in for interminable lengths of time with no tags in front of the referee. You can't get heat on anybody because there's no heels to speak of, but you can't really make comebacks because there's no faces. You should have babyface matches sparingly and with real good reasons, with guys who can portray those reasons. 2 of these guys have masks on. You can't even see their expression. I can't keep track of which one's Felix and which one's Pentagon to begin with. You got one guy that all he's got is facial expressions, and they're all goofy. At one point in the match, Paige ran wild and did a bunch of good shit, but it was all for naught because the whole thing was a mess. Because then all 4 jumped back in together forever, where you couldn't follow who was doing what to who. It was all a bunch of contrived performance moves, like a floor gymnastics routine, so the people could chant, "This is awesome." The referee is buried. Anytime that these guys are involved, the Lucha Brothers or Olivier, Paige could actually work a fucking logical match. And then finally, did you notice they all get wiped out, and here's Olivier and one of the Lucha Brothers. They get up on the apron, and they start trading chops and blows and fighting on the apron, right? I timed this with second hand on my watch. The referee is standing there looking at them fighting on the apron for 45 seconds. There's nobody in the ring. The other guys are down on the floor somewhere. He's watching these guys fight on the apron for 45 seconds with no count. Then a couple of the other ones start feeding in, and they're a total of 1.5 minutes where they're all fighting on the apron or out on the floor in front of the referee where there's no count whatsoever while they're doing all their big goofy shit. And then after that, Olivier gets back in the ring and goes over and tags. Like, okay, now I got to tag. And then Paige does one thing and then tags back, and they all 4 get in the ring again for over 1 minute, trading shit back and forth in front of the referee, where you don't know who's legal. There are no tags. Nothing makes any fucking sense. It's just fucking moves. And then finally, I was hoping that this would be the finish when Paige caught Olivier with the buckshot lariat by accident. He goes over and the other guy moves. Can't say the heel. The other guy moves and he hits his partner. Okay, this is what we've finally been waiting for. Let's break these 2 motherfuckers up. But no, Paige hits his fucking buckshot lariat on Olivier, who gets covered by one of the Lucha Brothers, and he kicks out. Olivier, then fresh as a daisy, kicks the shit out of both the Lucha Brothers repeatedly. And then when he finishes doing that, Paige blind tags Olivier, and they hit their double team finish this time, and 1, 2, 3. So this is multiple times that Adam Page has hit this fucking prissy prancing, finger pointing, fancy dancing fucking Harpo Marx lookalike with his buckshot lariat, and it never stays down. This time, he not only didn't stay down, but he got up and kicked the shit out of the other 2 fucking opponents by himself so that Page could blind tag in and they could hit their double team. And then the Bucks came out so they could do some more phony pantomime about dissension in all of their elite group, and Page left to drink beer. I know some people who write words on paper who said, "Oh, this match was fabulous. Wow." So if it's so far ahead of everybody else in the world, I think they've gone so far ahead of everybody else that they've gone all the way around and they've come back up behind. Because can you explain to me in what way this was a good professional wrestling match?
If you're into that style of no rules, just spots that are spectacular, it was probably a really good match. I enjoyed it for what it was, which was not a classic tag team wrestling match that makes sense. Like Rey Fenix, he probably is the most spectacular guy in the ring in terms of doing high spots. They don't always make sense in the general flow of the match.
They're not even high spots anymore. They're not even high spots. It involves some type of wrestling moves to build a payoff and a pop for a conclusion out of something that's been going on. This is just incessant moving and flipping and running and diving and kicking and stomping over and over with no effect whatsoever until they decide that there is an effect. And there's no rules until they decide there's rules. And they just call it as they see it on the fly. I'm actually know they're obviously pre-planning this on an integral basis in the back for hours beforehand, but it looks like just a bunch of shit where guys are just running at each other for no reason and no effect and no purpose, striking each other over and over. And you can't even see two of the guys' fucking facial expressions to know whether they're hurt or not. Which would help. It would help if I knew which guy some of these moves were supposed to hurt. When they all go down and either nobody sells anything or everybody sells it. I'm confused.